Have you ever wondered what made the Mongols so utterly dominant? How did a nomadic people from the steppes of Central Asia build the largest contiguous land empire in history? It's a story that's almost hard to believe. In just a few decades, they conquered more territory than the Roman Empire did in 400 years. So, what was their secret? Was it just one brilliant leader? Or was there something more to their unstoppable advance? Today, we're diving deep into the reasons behind the Mongol Empire's incredible success. It's a fascinating tale of strategy, adaptation, and sheer force of will. Let's start with the man who started it all, Genghis Khan. Born as Temujin, his early life was brutal. His father was poisoned, his family was abandoned by their tribe, and he spent years as an outcast, even a slave. This hardship didn't break him, it forged him. He learned to be ruthless, charismatic, and incredibly resilient. He spent decades uniting the fractured and constantly warring Mongol tribes, a feat no one had managed before. He didn't just conquer them. He brought them together under a single banner and a unified law, the Yasa. This created a sense of national identity and loyalty that was previously unthinkable. Before Genghis Khan, tribes fought each other. After him, they fought for the Mongol Empire. But one great leader isn't enough to conquer the world. The real foundation of Mongol power was their army. And the heart of that army was the Mongol warrior on his horse. These weren't just soldiers, they were born in the saddle. A Mongol child learned to ride almost as soon as they could walk. They could shoot arrows with deadly accuracy while galloping at full speed, even turning backward in the saddle to fire at a pursuing enemy, a move known as the Parthian shot. This gave them unparalleled mobility. They could cover vast distances, appearing where they were least expected, striking hard and vanishing before a response could be organized. Their enemies, often cumbersome infantry armies, were simply too slow to react. Their primary weapon was the Mongol composite bow. This wasn't just any bow. It was a marvel of engineering, made from laminated sinew, horn, and wood. It was small enough to be used easily from horseback, but incredibly powerful, with a range that outmatched most other bows of the era. A Mongol archer carried multiple quivers with different types of arrows, some for piercing armor, others for long-range volleys, and even whistling arrows used for signaling. An army of 10,000 Mongol horsemen could rain down 100,000 arrows on an enemy formation in a single minute, creating a storm of steel that broke morale and shattered ranks before the hand-to-hand fighting even began. Now, you might think of the Mongols as just a wild horde, but that couldn't be further from the truth. They were masters of psychological warfare. Before attacking a city, they would often offer a choice: surrender and be spared, or resist and be annihilated. If a city surrendered, the Mongols would often incorporate its artisans and engineers into their own ranks and leave the population relatively unharmed, demanding only tribute. But if a city resisted, the Mongols would make an example of it. They would systematically slaughter the population, leaving only a few survivors to flee and spread tales of the terror they had witnessed. This reputation preceded them. Fear became one of their most effective weapons, causing many cities and kingdoms to surrender without a fight. Their military tactics were also highly sophisticated. Genghis Khan organized his army based on a decimal system. Soldiers were grouped into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000, known as a tumen. This structure was incredibly flexible and allowed for precise command and control on the battlefield. Commanders used a system of flags, horns, and smoke signals to communicate complex maneuvers over long distances. One of their favorite tactics was the feigned retreat. A small Mongol force would engage the enemy and then pretend to flee in disarray. When the overconfident enemy gave chase, they would be led straight into a prepared ambush, where the main Mongol army would be waiting to encircle and destroy them. It was a deadly trap that worked time and time again. The Mongols were also brilliant learners and adapters. They didn't just destroy, they absorbed. When they encountered new technologies, they immediately adopted them. From the Chinese, they learned siege warfare. Initially, the Mongols struggled to take fortified cities, but they quickly forced captured Chinese engineers to build siege engines for them catapults, trebuchets, and battering rams. They became experts at siegecraft, capable of taking down even the most formidable fortresses in the world. They adapted their tactics to different terrains, from the open plains of Hungary to the dense forests of Russia. This ability to learn and innovate on the fly made them incredibly versatile and unpredictable. Logistics were another key to their success. An army is only as good as its supply line, and the Mongols perfected this. Each warrior traveled with a string of several horses. This meant they always had a fresh mount, allowing them to travel up to 100 miles a day in astonishing speed for a pre-modern army. They traveled light, with each soldier carrying only what they needed. For food, they relied on their herds and their ability to hunt. They even had a form of fast food or dried meat and milk curd called arul, which could be carried for months and reconstituted with water. This logistical self-sufficiency freed them from the need for slow-moving supply wagons and allowed them to move with unprecedented speed and stealth. Furthermore, the Mongol Empire established a communication network that was the envy of the world, the Yam. This was essentially an imperial pony express, a vast network of relay stations across the empire. Riders carrying messages could swap for fresh horses at each station, allowing information and orders to travel with incredible speed. A message could travel over 200 miles in a single day. This meant that the Great Khan in the capital of Karakoram could receive intelligence and issue commands to his generals on the far-flung borders of the empire with remarkable efficiency. It was the internet of its day, and it allowed the Mongols to govern their vast territories effectively. Discipline was absolute. The Yasa, the secret legal code established by Genghis Khan, laid out strict rules for both civilians and soldiers. For the army, discipline was non-negotiable. If one soldier in a unit of 10 retreated without orders, the entire unit of 10 was executed. If that whole unit of 10 retreated, their entire unit of 100 was executed. This created an unbreakable bond and ensured that Mongol units fought with terrifying cohesion. Desertion was virtually unheard of. This ironclad discipline, combined with their incredible training and loyalty, made them a truly formidable fighting force. So, to sum it up, the Mongol dominance wasn't down to just one thing, it was a perfect storm. It started with a visionary and ruthless leader who unified his people. It was built on the back of the world's greatest cavalry, highly mobile, skilled archers. They used brilliant and deceptive military tactics, combined with terrifying psychological warfare. They were masters of adaptation, constantly learning and incorporating new technologies like siegecraft. Their logistical genius and communication network allowed them to move and govern with unmatched speed and efficiency. And it was all held together by unwavering, ironclad discipline. They weren't just a barbarian horde. They were a sophisticated, organized, and utterly relentless military machine that the world had never seen before and has rarely seen since. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this dive into Mongol history interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. And let me know in the comments what other historical topics you'd like to see covered. See you in the next video.